What's going on, everybody? This is Jen One Six back here again, and today I want to talk to you guys about why I believe the Buffalo Bills won free agency. Just taking, just a quick recap of some of the, the big free agents that we signed, the trades that we make. We definitely made a lot of great moves this year. But the thing I like the most about this free agency was the fact that we were passive, but again, we needed to be aggressive. We were aggressive, and we didn't sign anybody to major contracts, but we made some trades. We made some really good depth signings, some good signings that we all did, about some of the players that could be impactful players for us, and we got them on some cheap deals. Brandon Beane just did a phenomenal job, I feel like, with this free agency signing. So I feel like overall wise, our team will get better for 2020 as we push for potentially an AFC East crown. So taking a look at some of the signings real quick. The first signing that I really loved was the AJ Klein signing. That was our first major signing. As far as getting a guy that could potentially start for us. He's probably going to be our weak side linebacker outside. Again, he's probably gonna. Again, we primarily play more as a nickel type of defense. But again, 30-40% of the snaps he's going to be playing. Weak side linebacker, great run defender, improved his pass coverage skills with the New Orleans Saints. Phenomenal motor, still young, at only going to be, I think, around 28 years of age. So AJ Klein, getting him on a 3-year deal, I think will be great. And especially pairing him up with Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano. I think that would just make our linebacking core now one of the best linebacking cores in all of football. The defensive line unit is my favorite out of all the moves we made. Quentin Jefferson, Vernon Butler, and Addison. Starting off with Vernon Butler first. This is a guy that Washington really loved, our new defensive line coach. He really loved Vernon Butler. Again, improved his game, especially last year, especially because Carolina ran more of a 3-4, played more as a zero technique, but still had the best year of his career. Very similar to Jordan Phillips, right? He had around 6 sacks, improved his tackle for loss, his tackles, was more of that gap stuffer, but he was really impactful. I feel like the good thing for Vernon Butler is that, again, he is a former first-round talent, but last year was the year where he really kind of exploded, and you signed him to a 2-year, $16 million deal. So this could be a player that finally found his rhythm and can now be that impactful type of player that the Buffalo Bills have kind of been expecting from Star over the last couple of years. You can now probably get that out for Vernon Butler. Again, a big guy, around the same height as Jordan Phillips, around the same weight as Jordan Phillips as well. Really like that Vernon Butler deal. Quentin Jefferson's my favorite signing out of all the Bills signings and trade moves that they did overall wise, because Quentin Jefferson's a guy that's probably one of the more versatile players in the NFL. You talk about a guy that can play at the 5, can play at a 3, can play at a 1 if you want him to, and he can dominate in each and every single one of those positions. The dude is an absolute freak. He's a phenomenal defender, great edge defender, can get after the passer if you want him to, whether if you want to rush in the interior or if you want to rush him outside in the 5. I can see him more as a player again, he's going to rotate in so many different areas. He'll be that. It's almost like he'll be that sixth man, right? That Lou Williams for us. He'll just be the sixth man, and that Lou Williams type of player on the defensive line. So Quentin Jefferson overall was my favorite signing so far for the Buffalo Bills. And then finally getting that number 1 pass rusher in Addison. Again, I know a lot of people probably don't like this one right here because he's going to be 33 years of age. But if you look at the last 3 to 4 years, he's been phenomenal. Again, if you look at players like Justin Houston, a guy that's still around 33, 34 years of age, still dominating the league. Pass rushers are guys that kind of like our quarterbacks are. When they get to their 30s, they can still be dominant as long as they had a healthy slate. Addison's that player that has had that healthy type of career. I think Addison will definitely improve his game here with the Buffalo Bills, especially because he's been under the Sean McDermott scheme before. So overall wise, I really like the Addison move as well. Getting that number 1 pass rusher, has had 9 sacks last year. There was a time where he had 11 sacks. So I feel like finally getting that pass rusher that you can pair up with Jerry Hughes with, and potentially maybe keep Trent Murphy there as a rotational player. I think that is really good for the Buffalo Bills. So really love the defensive line acquisitions. I feel like it's an upgrade compared to Shaq Lawson and Jordan Phillips, even though those two are really good players. But you got 3 players But you got besides the Addison one, you got Jefferson and Vernon Butler on really really good reasonable deals. Jefferson arguably could have had he arguably could have had the $30 million, kind of like how Addison had. But again, getting Jefferson on a 2-year, $13 million deal, I feel like was the steal of all the free agency. So yes, really love the defensive line acquisition. Looking at some of the special teams players real quick, getting guys like Tylan Jones and I'm gonna screw this up, but Tyler Mikitovich. I feel like that's really great. Mikitovich is he's the special teams ace, one of the best special team players in all of football, former Pro Bowler. Tylan Jones is also a phenomenal special teams ace as well. I know a lot of people are not going to be a fan of Tylan Jones from definitely that playoff run with the Texans, but overall wise, Tylan Jones and Mikitovich, two really, really good special teams players that you now add to your football squad. Of course, looking at the offensive side of the ball, we didn't make too many major signings, but we were aggressive as far as getting the number one receiver. Trading for Stephon Diggs was a phenomenal move for the Buffalo Bills. Finally getting that number one receiver for Josh Allen. We all knew. I didn't know that we were going to trade for Stephon Diggs. I felt like we would have just stayed there and took Justin Jefferson or Denzel Mims or Laviska Shenault or T. Higgins. But the Buffalo Bills did not want to do that. They wanted to be aggressive. They wanted to get that number one guy for Josh Allen, an established player in this league. And they finally got that with Stephon Diggs. Now, again, he's 26 years of age. We got him for 4 years. We're going to be paying $13 million for the most part, so it's a much cheaper bargain than I know for people that are arguing for DeAndre Hopkins. Now, yes, DeAndre Hopkins is the top 3 receiver, but you get Stephon Diggs on a cheaper bargain. Now, I think there is the concern of, again, Stephon Diggs, he wants to restructure. He wants to pretty much work on that contract now and try to get more money, like the Julio Jones, the Amari Cooper is trying to get in that $20 million range. So I think that's the one thing you got to worry about. But overall wise, you get a Stephon Diggs, who's one of the best route runners in all of football. Great, gets phenomenal separation, great run after the catch, and most importantly, has great deep ball traits. He's one of the best deep ball receivers also in the NFL as well. So getting a guy like Stephon Diggs, I think it's a perfect compliment for Josh Allen. And now pairing him up with John Brown and Cole Beasley in the slot with the young Dawson Knox, the Buffalo Bills went from having one of the worst receiving corps in the league to now having one of the best receiving corps in all of football. And the Buffalo Bills could still improve on that, right? There's some still good free agent receivers that they could add maybe one more player just for depth purposes, just in case of injury, or just to add them in a rotation just in case if one of our players get tired. Or maybe they just don't fit the scheme. Or maybe just for different formations, they could still add that. Or you could just look in the draft, and again, this is a loaded receiving draft class, and you could get it. You still could get your potential Denzel Mims or Chase Claypool in the second round. So overall wise, the Buffalo Bills trading for Stephon Diggs was perfect because people were saying that they were passive. They finally made an aggressive move, and they get an already established top 15 receiver that is a number one guy when you pair that up with John Brown and Cole Beasley. And so Josh Allen, he said it's all up to Josh Allen now at this point. As far as re-signing players, Quinton Spain, Jordan Poyer were really, really good moves. Quinton Spain, a guy that's one of the best guards in the league, one of the best run-blocking guards. You pair that up with him and Feliciano, two really, really, I would say pit bulls as far as the running game goes. There's a reason why we had a top 5 guys, top 5 running game. That was because of Quinton Spain and Feliciano. So re-signing Quinton Spain in a reasonable deal, not too much for you, and that's something that's really going to hurt the cap. Getting an established guard, especially one of the leaders on the offensive line that's already established for Josh Allen. You now get all 5 guys back for year 2. So overall wise, I really love that move. Jordan Poyer, one of the best safeties in the league. You pair that up with Micah Hyde, it's the best safety duo in all of football. And so yes, extending him to 2 years. That's phenomenal for Jordan Poyer, especially because this was going to be his final year of his contract. You now get him back, so you now get him back for 3 more years. So Jordan Poyer, that's a phenomenal deal for the Buffalo Bills. Overall, like I said, guys, this was a phenomenal free agency for the Buffalo Bills. Overall wise, they improved their offense, they improved their defense, and again, that's the one thing about it. They didn't get worse in any particular areas. They got better for the most part in the areas that they desperately needed. The defensive line was a question mark. The receiving position was definitely the biggest need that we got. The linebacking position too, right? We needed a weak side linebacker, and the Buffalo Bills capitalized on getting a guy like AJ Klein. So overall wise, the Buffalo Bills should be good. Overall wise, Again, the secondary position, I forgot to talk about Josh Norman, but the Buffalo Bills also signed Josh Norman to a one-year deal as well. So getting a depth corner, one of the best, well, used to be one of the best cornerbacks in all of football, adds leadership to the locker room, kind of like how we did with Frank Gore. You know, get that back. So I think it's only going to make the secondary better. So yeah, the Buffalo Bills they made their entire football team better, and now I think the best thing, or the greatest thing that we can definitely look at for this, is that the Patriots are down. The Jets, I think, made some moves that are The Dolphins made some great moves, but I think they're a year away. This is the time for the Buffalo Bills to take control of that division. This is the year for them to do it. And Brandon Beane did a great job getting the experience, getting the talent, and also getting them at the right price. He had all three of these of those major things I just said were things that Brandon Beane definitely did, and the Buffalo Bills, they make themselves better not only for this year but for next year, because next year the cap for the Buffalo Bills is also going to be top 10-ish. So the Buffalo Bills put themselves in a phenomenal position not only for this year but for next year and potentially for the future. So Brandon Beane did a great job, and Bills fans should definitely be excited for the future. If you guys like this video, guys, definitely hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe. And definitely comment below if you think the Buffalo Bills will definitely make the playoffs, because I think they will. I think this is the time that they will definitely make the playoffs and take a hold of the AFC East. So hopefully you guys are excited just like how I am. And, man, hopefully we will have a season. But, man, I'm stoked. I'm stoked for 2020. Anyway, guys, hopefully you guys, again, just love the video. That's all I got for you guys today. This is Gen 716. Stay safe, wash your hands, and I'm out. Peace.